Aeobhel here. Today we're doing something really exciting, and that's using this Holbein Acryla Gouache for the very first time. So I'm going to give you my first impressions. I'm going to paint a little picture here, and then maybe just talk you through my experience. I was very fortunate as I got this for Christmas from my boyfriend, so thank you, MacGyver. If you would like to see some more MacGyver, check the annotation. We made Christmas baubles a week or two ago. That was fun. But yeah, so I'm going to be painting with this Holbein Acryla Gouache. Now, I have used gouache before, but I heard chatterings on the internet that this was kind of a different ball game. So it starts off just like traditional gouache, straight out of the tube. You can water it down, it's water soluble, and you apply it like normal. But basically the idea with the acrylic gouache is that it dries kind of like acrylic paint in that you can't really re-wet it. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be easier to build up thicker layers and more opaque layers, and I'm very excited to play with that idea. Alright guys, so I've got the 36 set here. I'll just open it up and show you what it looks like. This isn't the first time I'm opening it. I really couldn't help myself. So it's not technically an unboxing, but this is definitely a first impressions video because I haven't opened them up or used any of them. I think I might have used a little bit too much water. They're not as opaque as I thought they would be, but I mean, that's the great thing about gouache. You have complete control over the consistency. And I'm by no means an expert in regular gouache, let alone this gouache that I'm trying for the first time. So yeah, bear with me, I'm just experimenting as well. I will say these tubes though are very accurate in terms of what colour you're getting. I'm really happy with that. A lot of the time you'll buy a tube of paint and you'll see the packet and you'll think, oh, it must be this colour, and then it'll just be completely different once you actually pour it onto the palette. So yeah, really happy that so far they all seem to be very accurate. Run into my first learning experience with this. When they say it dries like acrylic paint, they're not kidding. It really does dry really quickly. And what I'm kind of finding, so I just bring this under here, is if you go back to try and re-wet something that's actually dried, you can stir it off the plate, but it's just it's very it comes off in clumps, so you can't actually use it. You can't get any good paint out of it because you'll just get these flecks of dried acrylic looking paint. So I don't know how I'm gonna try and work around this so that I'm not wasting all my paint. But yeah, hopefully it's something that's easy to overcome with a slight adjustment in workflow. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright guys, so the painting is progressing pretty well. I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I've picked up already. The first is that you really need to change your workflow when working with the acrylic gouache, especially if you're used to working with either traditional gouache or watercolour like I am. So in the beginning, as you probably saw, I laid out all of these colours. I was going to do each rib one by one and do the gradients, over and over and over until I had completed the rib cage. But then by the time I'd got to the second, maybe even the third rib, all of my paint on my palette had dried. And I really should have seen this coming. Like, I've painted with acrylic paint before, and that was like the one thing that I kind of hated about it, was just how quick it dried and you didn't really have much working time. But if you kind of alter your workflow and fill in each color in the painting as it's needed, it's a lot easier, kind of like a paint by numbers sort of situation. So that's what I started doing. I would mix up one color at a time. I show you here. I started with the maroon, then the blue, and then moved on to my pinks down the bottom here. And I started filling in all of the dark maroon sections, all of the places I thought would need a dark blue shadow, and kind of worked, changed my workflow around a bit. And it's actually been working pretty well. Like, it does take a little bit of adjusting, I won't lie, but once you get into this, the swing of it, it's not bad. It's definitely doable. In terms of the actual paint itself, I love it. You get a very smooth wash as you're painting. The brush strokes kind of blend out. I mean, it does depend on how much water you use. So if you're using way too much water, I feel like it might be a little bit streaky. Just like if you're not using enough water, it's going to be a lot harder to move the paint around. But generally there is a lot of leeway in the middle there to change the consistency and the texture of the paint and still get very nice smooth finishes. So I'm very, very happy with that. The paint is so nice and opaque. I love it. And I do appreciate the acrylic side of it, in that I did a painting in the past. I'll insert a little clip if I can, of these elephants, right? And I would try to go in on top of past gouache and do lighter colours like whites and creams. And it did work to an extent, but it wasn't as punchy and vibrant as I would have liked. With this, I can confidently go in with a lighter colour on top of like a dark blue, or even like a medium sort of brown like I've got in the ribs here. And it really will just stand out and bring the image forward, which I really like. It adds so much dimension to the painting. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's going so far, but I'm obviously not done yet. I'm going to keep on going, and if I gain any more nuggets of wisdom, I will share them with you promptly. This Holbein Acryla Gouache. Yeah, I really liked it. It's definitely something to adjust to. I've by no means perfected my technique. I've still got a lot of learning to do, but in terms of my first impressions and first experience, I did have a lot of fun. Definitely only use a little bit of paint at a time and mix each colour as you need it, and do it in the colour by numbers style. I feel like that way you're not wasting as much paint, due to the fast drying time. But in general, if you can keep up with the drying time of an acrylic paint, you can definitely keep up with this. So yeah, maybe that's a good idea. If you're curious about it and want to try it out, but are a little bit too scared to invest, try painting with acrylic paints first and see if you can hack it. And if you can, and if you enjoy the sort of thick, vibrant results of an acrylic paint, you can move across to this Holbein Acryla Gouache for a little bit more versatility. What's great about the gouache is that it is designed to be watered down, so unlike an acrylic paint where if you water it down too much the bonds will break and eventually it'll just like flake off the page, after a couple of years, this is designed to be watered down, so you're not going to get any of that. You can do nice, thin, smooth washes, very transparent, or you can build it up and use it as a more opaque, sort of thick gouache. But yeah, I love this 36 set that I've got. I'm definitely excited to actually like use it a little bit more and try it in a couple of different paintings so that I get the full, you know, experience of all these colours. This was a very sort of limited palette painting that I did here. But yeah, I would really recommend the Holbein Acryla Artist Gouache. That's a bit of a mouthful. I don't even know if I got that right. You know what I mean. I really do recommend these paints. I had a great experience painting with them and I'll definitely be using them again. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this informative and fun, and I will see you next time. Bye!